Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Danny Spies of Clean and Delicious. I am a health, eating psychology, and weight loss coach, and I am here to help you make healthy eating easy, delicious, and doable. Now, if you're on the lookout for simple, protein-packed meal prep ideas, ground beef can be your new best friend. It's affordable, it's versatile, and when you choose high-quality lean cuts, it's a super nutritious option that can absolutely support your health, wellness, fitness, and/or weight loss goals. So today I'm going to share with you 3 of my favorite go-to ground beef recipes that I make on repeat. And for each of these, I'm going to show you how to make a single serving, but keep in mind that you could easily scale these recipes up. So I'm going to show you my ground beef tacos, a ground beef burger bowl with the most delicious sauce, and then we're also going to put a really fun, creative spin on pizza, and we're going to make a ground beef veggie and rice bowl that tastes just like pizza. So many delicious things to eat. I cannot wait to share. But before we jump in, I just want to thank today's sponsor, Element. Element is my absolute favorite electrolyte company. I'm fairly obsessed. They were specifically designed for people like you and I who want to live an active lifestyle and take a less processed, more whole food approach to healthy eating. And I'm going to share more on them in just a bit. Okay, so since we're approaching this with a meal prep mentality, we're going to cook up the ground beef so that we have it as a head start ingredient to build these simple meals throughout the week. Now, personally, whenever I make ground beef, I love to use a cast iron skillet. Number 1, you don't need to use any excess oil or fat when you cook the meat. And number 2, it's really great at browning the meat. So I've got my cast iron skillet heating over a medium-high heat. I'm just going to get the meat into the pan. We'll season that with a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Those are my favorite simple seasonings. And then I'm just going to break the meat up. And once I've got it all broken up, I like to season it one more time. So just a little bit more salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And then you don't need to move it a ton. I just stir it 2 or 3 times while it's cooking. You're gonna see that it releases some moisture. So you're just gonna let it cook and brown up, let that excess moisture evaporate out of the pan. This only takes about 6 or 7 minutes, and then the meat will be completely cooked through. Now, whenever possible, I always look for grass-fed and finished beef, and I look for a 93-7 split, meaning it's 93% lean, 7% fat. The more fat your meat has, the less protein it's gonna have. So, for example, a 4-ounce portion of ground beef that's 93% lean is gonna have 170 calories, 8 grams of fat, and 23 grams of protein. The same serving size of ground beef that is 80% lean, right? So 4 ounces is going to have 280 calories, 22 grams of fat, and 19 grams of protein. So the percentage in the fat definitely matters, especially if you're trying to work more protein in your diet or if you're working towards specific fitness and or weight loss goals. Once the meat is all browned, there's no more pink, I just shut the heat off, let the meat cool down a bit, and then I'm just gonna transfer it into an airtight container, and this will happily last in the fridge for up to 5 days. So it's a really great head start ingredient. When you're ready to use it, you can either pop it back into a saute pan to heat it up, or you can just put it in the microwave for a couple minutes. And the nice thing about ground beef is that it doesn't dry out super fast, so it really is a fantastic head start ingredient. Okay, so the first recipe I wanna show you are my ground beef tacos. I eat this meal multiple times a week. It's so good. So I'm going to start with a big handful, about a cup of shredded cabbage. I love buying these shredded coleslaw bags where the cabbage is already chopped up with some carrots in there as well. I'm just going to get that into a nice big bowl, and then I season it very simply. We do a little salt, a little pepper, some fresh crushed garlic, and then a big squish of fresh lime juice. So this is like a very light, very fresh coleslaw that we're going to put into the taco. Then the next thing I do is I heat up some corn tortillas. So I usually use 3 corn tortillas, and I love to just heat them right over my burner if you have a gas stove. It just warms them very quickly, and it also gives them this like char grilled edge. Now, quick note, I am a big fan of checking out the labels when I'm buying my ingredients. So for instance, both of these tortillas are exactly the same brand, except one is a more traditional tortilla and one is a thin cut tortilla. So for the traditional tortillas, 3 tortillas is 210 calories with 42 grams of carbohydrates, whereas if the thin tortillas, 3 tortillas is 110 calories with 23 grams of carbohydrates. And the only difference is that this one is a little bit thinner than this one. So if you're working on weight loss goals, little tweaks like this can make a big difference. Then to make the tacos, I just put everything on a nice big plate and then assemble them as I eat them. So I put the slaw on the plate. I love to add a few tablespoons of fresh pico de gallo on top of that. I have a recipe for that I'll link for you in the description box below. But oftentimes you can buy it pre-made at the grocery store. So you always have options there. Then I'm gonna add my ground beef that I reheated and half of an avocado that I've chopped up. That is it, so super simple. And then when I build the taco, I just take the corn tortilla, I layer the coleslaw and the pico de gallo on the bottom, then I spoon on the ground beef, and then I top it with the avocado. So again, it's super simple, it's super fresh, but it's so delicious, and it's a 5-minute meal when you have the ground beef prepped and ready to go. This one's also great if you have teenagers who are like running in and out all day and they just need to make their own quick meals. This gives them a really great healthy option. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna show you how to make my ground beef burger bowls with this really delicious special sauce. They are so good. But first, let me tell you a bit more about today's sponsor, Element. Element is my absolute favorite electrolyte company that I lean on to feel energized and hydrated throughout the day. It contains a science-backed balance of sodium, potassium, and magnesium to help replace lost electrolytes, which is especially important this time of the year as it's super hot outside, at least it is in New Jersey, because you have to remember that when you sweat, not only do you lose water, but you lose electrolytes. So you want to replace both the water and the electrolytes to feel your best. I know for myself, when I'm going to the gym and I'm filling up my water bottle, I feel such a difference between drinking plain water and drinking the water with the electrolytes. It's like you can literally feel the hydration entering your cells. Now, a lot of people don't realize it, but common signs of electrolyte imbalance include muscle cramps, headaches, fatigue, and sleeplessness. And I promise you, not only will you feel great when you drink it, but you're going to enjoy drinking it because the flavors are so good. They have so many delicious flavors. And the great news is that Element is offering everybody in the Clean and Delicious community a free sample pack with any purchase. So you're gonna get 8 single servings, and it's going to be 4 different flavors. So you get 2 of each flavor. These are the fan favorites. So you get to taste them all and decide which is your favorite. Personally, I'm slightly addicted to the mango chili this time of year, but honestly, the raspberry, the watermelon, the citrus salt, they are all so good. So if you want to take advantage of that, be sure to use my link. It is drinkelement.com/Danny Spies. That's DRINKLMNT.com/Danny Spies, and I'm going to leave that link for you down in the description box as well. Okay, back to our burger bowls. Now I'm gonna start by making the special sauce because really, what's a burger bowl without a special sauce? And I'm gonna start with just a couple tablespoons of plain Greek yogurt, and then I'm gonna add about a half a tablespoon of ketchup to that, a splash of pickle juice, just trust me with this one, and then we're gonna do a few dashes of garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and some sea salt. This is really simple. It comes together very quickly. Mix that all together, and then we're gonna set that aside while we build the bowl. Now, personally, I recommend using like a wide, shallow bowl to build your burger bowl. It just works the best, so something like I have here. And at the bottom, you're gonna layer your greens. So I'm using thinly sliced romaine because I really love how crunchy it is, but you could use any type of greens you love or have on hand. And the more, the merrier. Just go ahead and pile them in. Then I'm gonna add a few ounces of the reheated ground beef. That's our head start ingredient. I've got some fresh chopped tomatoes, which are so good this time of the year. A little bit of thinly sliced red onion, and then I've chopped up some pickles as well. And then this is totally optional, but I am a big fan of adding some roasted potatoes because this is gonna give you like the burger and fries vibe. And these potatoes I made when I was doing my meal prep as well. So it was another Head Start ingredient that was hanging out in my fridge. Just a quick side note, if you wanted to, you could also use like frozen French fries if you wanted something that was a shortcut to get that burger and potato vibe going. Then you're just gonna serve this with your special sauce. You just pop that right in the middle, or you can either dip or drizzle it on top depending on what you fancy, and enjoy. This meal is so yummy. It hits like all the burger cravings, but it's lighter and it's fresher and it's just perfect for this time of the year. Last but not least, we've got ground beef recipe number 3, and this is a ground beef, veggie, and rice pizza bowl, and you can actually make this super low carb if you are trying to pull back on the carbs, or if you're just wanting a more like veggie focused, lighter meal. So I'm gonna show you how to do this. I'm gonna give you options. You wanna start with 1 cup of rice. Now this could be any type of rice. It could be jasmine rice, brown rice, basmati rice, you name it, they all work. But it could also be cauliflower rice. So if you wanted to keep it really light and veggie forward, you could swap the traditional rice and add the cauliflower rice. Personally, I'm gonna go half-half. So I have a half a cup of frozen rice here, and then I have a heaping half a cup of cauliflower rice. Again, both of these came right from my freezer. I always have them on hand for simple meals just like this. So I'm gonna get them into a small saute pan, and then I'm just gonna season this with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, some garlic powder, and then I have a bit of Italian seasoning as well. And if you like heat, you could also do a little bit of red pepper flakes, which I'm definitely gonna do. Basically, these are all of like the traditional flavors that you would put on a slice of pizza. So we're mimicking that pizza flavor vibe. Toss this all together, and you're just gonna let it cook for a few minutes. Ultimately, you just want the rice to be tender and warmed through. Now from here, I like to add in some veggies. So there's no specific vegetable that you need to use here. This is a great opportunity to use the leftovers you have, or just to use whatever you have hanging out in the veggie drawer. I'm gonna do a handful of chopped up baby spinach because I always keep these baby greens on hand. And I have some leftover grilled zucchini, so I'm gonna chop that up as well. Ultimately, you probably want about a cup of vegetables, but again, you could add as much as you want, right? Veggies are a fantastic food to add when you're trying to eat like a high volume, high fiber meal. It's a great way to keep yourself feeling really satisfied and really satiated after eating. Once you've got those veggies added in, mixed together really well, then I'm gonna add in the ground beef. You could do 3 to 4 ounces of the ground beef with 1/3 to a half a cup of tomato sauce, and then I sprinkle some Parmesan cheese right over the top. Again, toss that all together. You're just looking to let it heat through. And then last but not least, I like to sprinkle in some shredded mozzarella cheese. Now, if you can, try to buy the mozzarella in a block, because this is gonna have a better texture and it melts better than when you buy it pre-shredded. So you're gonna use about a 1/4 cup of the shredded mozzarella. It's really fun to put it on top, but because I like it to melt, I'm just gonna add it right into the pan to make sure that the cheese melts and works its way into the dish. And then you're gonna shut off the heat and serve up your meal. It may not look like the most beautiful meal, but I'm telling you, it is so delicious. And just to keep it pretty, we'll do a little extra sprinkle of cheese and spinach over the top. I am telling you, this meal totally hits when you have a pizza craving. It is so good. So there you have it. 3 delicious, simple, healthy ground beef recipes that you can make in just minutes when you add ground beef to your weekend meal prep, so you have it as a head start ingredient ready to go. So of course, I am very curious and I want to know, which of these 3 recipes do you think you're going to try first? Come on down to the comment section below and please do share. And thanks again to Element for sponsoring this video. Remember, I've got a link for you down in the description box below if you want to check them out. And if you are looking for more healthy, delicious, high protein meal inspiration, then you are going to want to check this video out next. I'll see you over there. Cheers.